You just call me a
Suddenly, Anna Leigh Waters had a meltdown on fellow pro pickleball player Hayden Patriquin and created, just like that, pro pickleball's newest bad guy. Before we get into their most recent beef, let's take a dive into why they even began fighting in the first place. It was March 14th, 2025 at the PPA Texas Open when Ben Johns and Anna Leigh Waters were losing the first game of their semifinals match.
Take a serve.
And Hayden was kind of teasing Anna Leigh with a stare. And then a few points later, Hayden's chirping got a little more intense.
Side out.
Anna Leigh was reminded not here.
Yeah. And in case you didn't hear, Hayden was taunting Anna Leigh, saying no, not here. And then came Hayden's biggest chirp of the match.
Second serve.
Hayden said, "Those are high dinks, they're too high," and you could tell Anna Leigh was disturbed. She raised her hand and walked over to the ref, hoping that she would do something. Now it was time for ALW's revenge. She hit a huge drive at Hayden, and Hayden couldn't handle it.
Ding.
And if you listen closely, you can hear Anna Leigh say, "Don't talk to me like that."
Point.
The rest of the match was fairly uneventful, and Ben and Anna Leigh actually won 11-6, 11-8.
They do it. The defending champs survive. Drop game one.
But the beef between Anna Leigh and Hayden lingered, and a lot of people online were asking why. Now, why was Hayden hating? Why was he chirping so hard at Anna Leigh? Well, I think the answer can be found in Anna Leigh's meltdown, which took place last weekend at a Major League Pickleball match. Now, let me set the stage. Anna Leigh lost a tough one to Hayden's MLP team, The Shock, at the April 27, 2025 match.
And that will do it. It takes
And Anna Leigh wasn't happy.
5 times 2 to win the win.
Hayden won his men's round, and he was feeling strong, my friends.
Unbelievable shot from Gabe Tardio.
Then came the first mixed match, and ALW and Hayden were on opposite sides.
I want to control that.
What would you put up on the board?
Even at the very beginning of the game, you could feel Anna Leigh's disdain for Hayden.
Held off the kitchen, so it was.
Anna Leigh was having a field day out there, and it was getting a little embarrassing for Hayden. Then Hayden gets a technical foul with a warning for hitting a ball way out into the crowd.
Proud.
9-3-1.
Here's the re.
And then the game is just over. ALW destroyed Hayden's team.
And another tattoo for Patriquin. And what a rampage.
And if you listen close, it appears ALW has some choice words for Hayden at the paddle tap. And then this happened, and I gotta warn you, viewer discretion is advised.
bitch! You just call me a bitch?
You gotta love Anna Leigh, she's such a fighter.
I didn't touch her. I stood right here.
I love how someone asked Hayden, "What did you do?" He's like, "Nothing." And then ALW's mom Leigh gets into the fight. So why the battle between ALW and Hayden in this particular match? Well, this is what Hayden had to say.
Some words were said, some words that shouldn't have been said. I mean, it is what it is. It's the heat of the moment.
But the fans, they weren't so ambiguous. X-handle I Got Nothing says ALW fined and suspended for entering another team's bench area. If this isn't already a rule after the incident last year or the year before, MLP needs to invoke this today. He goes on to talk about Hayden, his sticks and stones. He even talks about the Five's ownership being fined for not controlling their players and threatening the Shock guy. And the last part says Shock guy given cash from the fines for not starting a fight. Zombie Hug said unsportsmanlike conduct and should be fined. Don't know if it's Hayden or ALW. And this user, Hey Would You Blow Me, is firmly on the side of Anna Leigh. Hayden needs to grow the fuck up. Literally, don't mess with the GOAT. Don't like her, beat her. I hope he means on the court. That's what the fans said, but what about Major League Pickleball? Surely they came down hard on the players, right? I mean, after all, MLP protects against situations like these with blue and orange cards. Fines? Ironically, the rule books don't speak to fines in situations like these. Now, I brought this to MLP, and they tell me that their power to fine is derived from the UPA's Code of Conduct, disciplinary history, and the broad enforcement language, whatever that means. But the MLP is gonna exercise whatever power they have to fine, right? The answer to that would be a big nope. Here's their official response. ALW is a badass and wants all the smoke. Okay, well, she's gonna get it from Pro Pickleball's newest bad guy, Hayden Patriquin.
And Anna Bright finds the space behind